tell you a story about a perfect example of emotional intelligence. So back in 2009, when the first debacle hit town, and everybody was just absolutely, I mean, the downturn was unbelievable. People were being laid off in droves. And one of my guys who had been with a company, one of those big five, you know, those big five people? You know, the big five people? Okay. He was with one of them. It wouldn't matter even if I told you because there's millions of people at each one of them. But he was a senior level guy, engineer, who they let go of a whole swath of senior level people. And my guy, John, was one of them. And John was in my senior executive roundtable. And so what we would do is we would talk about, you know, different things. How do you get prepared? He had been with the company for 25 years. So he was kind of like Herschel. You know, he was an engineer. And whatever I would ask John to do, he'd say, Cecilia, I can't, I'm an engineer. I said, but no, Cecilia, we don't do that. I'm an engineer. Really, John? No, we don't do that. So what I loved about John is his tenacity. And we knew that anybody being laid off in 2009, that they were looking at a 2 to 3 year search, especially at a senior level. The higher you go, the thinner the air, okay? And so John was into about 1.5 years at that time. And so I said, John, I said, let's talk about metaphors. He said, Cecilia, we don't do that. We're engineers. He said, I don't even know what a metaphor is. I can't get my arms around a metaphor. And it was, back then, I had thrown out the 30-second, 20-second, 2-minute drill. I mean, and that's what it's like going to the dentist, getting your teeth drilled. So I said, John, we really got to work on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to spotlight you. And so everybody in the round table, excuse me, everyone in the round table is going to help you come up with a metaphor. And we're going to even show you how to spell it. Okay? So John said, fine. So what we did is different. So first John told us about what he did as an engineer, had to do with gasification and LNG and things the engineer did, okay? And so once we knew that, people started offering different metaphors. And we worked on it for a while, and so finally somebody in the group said, well, you know, John, it kind of sounds like you're a bridge. You're a bridge between gasification and LNG. And John goes, oh my God, I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge. Oh, I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge. That's what I am. I am a bridge. This is the first energy we've seen in John in 1.5 years. I'm a bridge. John got so excited about being a bridge. So what happened is not too long after that, he had an interview. And John's in the interview, and he said, this woman, her eyes were glazing over. And her eyes, she was kind of doing a Linda Blair thing. You know, I mean, she just wanted out of there. I mean, it was just, oh my gosh. So John said that once he saw that she was not interested in him, he said to himself, well, you know, I might as well do that metaphor thing Cecilia talked about because she doesn't like me anyway. So John throws out his metaphor. And all of a sudden, she lights up like a Christmas tree. And they start chatting. And John's carrying on like a really good conversation with this woman. And they're back and they're forth and they're back and they're forth. And she invited him back for the next interview. John was so excited he could hardly contain his joy. He ran home. He got on LinkedIn. And he put in his headliner, he was a bridge. He was a bridge. And the next thing we know, John's getting all kinds of hits. Johnny got no hits. I mean, if you could have read it, you would have fallen asleep at the wheel. So now he's got his bridge out there. So now people are calling, and he's going, oh my God, oh my God. They're going, oh my God. John is like a new man. So I said, John, now we're back in the round table. I said, John, you know what? You are an expert. Oh no, I'm not. I'm an engineer. I said, but John, no, I'm an engineer. I said, go with me, John. So this is what I call the gasp factor. So I took John through this process. I said, John, if we go on the premise that it takes 10,000 hours, which is equivalent to 5 years, to be an expert. If I take that as my premise, then I'm going to say, 10 to 15 years would be an authority. John's going, oh. And then I said, and if I took it a step up from that and went 20 to 25 years, is a guru, is a master, is a maven. And I said, so John, you were there for 25 years. You are a guru. Oh no, I'm not. I'm an engineer. I said, John, "25 years, guru." He said, no, I'm an expert. So that's what it took for him to claim his expertise. He couldn't claim the guru, he couldn't claim the authority, but once I stretched him enough, he could see that he was an expert, right? So I said, this is what I want you to do, John. I want you to blog. Oh my gosh, you would have thought I had profanity there. Oh, Cecilia, engineers don't blog. I said, what do y'all do? What do you do? I said, John, you're an expert. Nope. I said, okay. So then I got really smart. So I went in the back door. I went in the engineer door. I went in the back door. And I said, I want you to go out to WordPress, and I want you to figure out how it works. Oh, well, he was all over that. So he goes out to WordPress, and he's out there, and he's doing this, and he comes back to the round table, and he explained how it worked, and all the little gadgets, and the this and the that, and he was just so excited. And I said, wow, John, that is fantastic. Everybody's learning a lot from you. And he said, well, while I was out there, I blogged. Pick me up off the floor. He said, but you know, Cecilia, I'm an engineer. And he said, and you know, for engineers, you've got to be perfect. I mean, you've got to have it right. It's got to be, you know, it's got to be correct. I mean, you got to check all your research. I mean, there's a lot of things involved in writing a blog. I went, really? And he said, and then what ends up happening is I wrote like a really, really long blog, and it took me like a really long time in order to do that. Yeah? Well, what about this, John? What if you segmented it and write a long one and then cut it all up and then put it on auto-respond? So John thought that was a really clever idea. So John he goes out, segments it, puts it on auto-respond. He comes into the round table. Cecilia. People are contacting me and they want to put my blog on their websites. So now John's on websites. So then John comes in and he said, Cecilia, they want to quote me. Really? Yeah, they want to quote me. So now they're quoting him in RigZone. So now what's happening is with John, the reason why I tell you this story is he got better and better each time, because each time he was pushed, he got better in connecting with people. He got better in expressing himself. He got better in knowing how to respond and to listen more clearly to people. And then we were at a forum, and John was there, and they were going around introducing themselves, and it came to John, and John said, I know Cecilia wants to know if I blogged. He said, no, but I tweeted. this is the engineer. And then I was bragging on him a few months ago about all the things and how he had stretched, how he had grown. His emotional intelligence was no longer, I'm an engineer. And I was telling somebody about 2 or 3 people, and I said the bit about RigZone, and John said, oh, I'm on their advisory board now. So the point of my story is this isn't going to happen overnight, but it's a little bit, and it's a little bit.